I was definitely frauded. Now I'm in the process of trying to get my money back. So let's see what happens. All of this because you're trying to do things the right way, and the right way just doesn't exist.
Risk taking, gotta have some guts to do it. And most of us don't. Despite our dreams and aspirations, typically we stay in the same city that we grew up in, work there, get married there, have kids there, and die there. But for some people, taking risks is all about fate. It's all about hope. It's all about what's there on the other side. And it's all about connection and a passion for what you want to become in life. And that's how I got here in Uganda. And that's why I started the Kenganda YouTube channel. Risk-taking, passion, and aspirations. But I am not alone in this journey. Many of you guys are on that journey too. And it brings you back to Africa, the place of your forefathers, that where some of us were forcibly taken away from here, never to be seen again, brought to the new world in North America, the Caribbean, or South America. And it's hard as hell getting back to the continent to do things here. I'll get to that in a moment. Now, what if that was you? Do you believe that you deserve citizenship? Storytime music! Imagine you moved to a country like Nigeria, Ghana, or Kenya. You stayed there for 16 years. You reintegrated into society. You have several businesses there in the country. You're doing well, and you can't get citizenship. Would you leave? What would you do? Well, for this guy, he decided to stay, but check this out. He's doing something different. The guy's name is Mr. Mubarak Abdul Muqsit Akram. He's now 78 years old. He came to Kenya in 2008. He wants to get Kenyan citizenship, and he's suing Kenya for that.
What?
He wants citizenship within 30 days with the passport and national ID. He demands it. What? And it's funny to certain people. Even my editor here in the background, cameraman, is a Kenyan guy. He's laughing right now. Wanna know why he's laughing? Not because it's funny. He's laughing because he don't think he gonna get it. That's why he's laughing, right? But let me talk to you about this. There is a brother that we interviewed here on this channel called Afro-Jamaican, and he's going through something similar. He's been starting several businesses in Kenya. He has some infrastructure in Kenya, and it's gotten so bad, he asked President Ruto this.
This message is for President William Ruto of Kenya. Sir, I'm in a little bit of a situation. Okay, some time ago, I came to your country and I fell in love with the country. And I blame the lady at immigration because she know that I'm Jamaican. She know I was never been to the continent before. And just as I was about to leave the airport, she shouted out my name and said, "Welcome home." Well, look at me, what, year and a half, 2 years later, trying to get back into Kenya. I have 2 registered Kenyan companies. We have 3 employees working. I'm in Canada. 3 employees working, and I'm looking to come there permanently. The $100,000 requirement for the Class G visa, it's not a matter of not having the money, because the money's in a Canadian bank. I would need to send it over to Kenya, but in fees alone, we're looking at about $13,000 in fees for me, right? Because that's 100,000 US, and I'm Canadian, so it's a lot more money. What we're asking for is a better way for us to come home. I know by all indications I should be heading to West Africa, but my heart belongs to Kenya. I love your country. I love the people of Kenya. I love the way I feel when I'm in Kenya. I was born and raised in Jamaica, and I love Jamaica, world without end. But I must tell you, I have never felt peace and my true self until I was in your country. So I have an emotional connection to Kenya. And I've had a lot of challenges trying to do things the right and proper way to get to Kenya. And I must tell you, the challenges are... Anyways, Mr. President, I want you to know that there are many people who are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade who really want to come home to Kenya. And we're trying to follow the rules that are there, but currently the process leaves us open to a lot of abuse. People are getting scammed out here. So what we're asking is to grant us the right of abode. We can already own property in Kenya because a lot of us do. We already can own businesses in Kenya because a lot of us do. We employ Kenyans. We just are not allowed to work in our own companies in Kenya. And that's what we're looking for. The ability to come and just operate in our own businesses. Like, my company is earning money in Kenya and I'm not in Kenya. And I keep asking people, am I breaking any laws? No one can answer me. And I've written to the different government agencies to make sure I'm not breaking any laws, earning money, even though I'm not in Kenya, right? So I want to do things the right and proper way, and there are many of us, and we might not have $100,000 in our bank accounts, but some of us have a little bit less, maybe 50, maybe 25. Some of us are doctors, lawyers, teachers. We come from a wide spectrum of society, and we're willing to come there and use our expertise and our resources to build Kenya because we want to be in Africa, and Kenya is where we feel at home.
Some of you may have even remembered the video, but let's get back to some of the downsides of being in Africa as a diaspora. There are a lot of problems when you're trying to come back home. Imagine some of us, like the Jamaicans or the Caribbeans or the African Americans, sometimes we may pick a country that might not line up with our ancestral origin, like Nigeria or Ghana. We may feel at home in Kenya. This is how Afro-Jamaican feels. It's how I feel here in Uganda. My lineage is probably Ghana, Nigeria, but I feel like I want to be here. Should I get citizenship because I picked this as my ancestral home? We'll get back to that, but let's talk about the other situation that the brother Afro-Jamaican is going through.
I was definitely frauded. Definitely frauded. You know, I sent a message to, I did a video to President Ruto. I'm sure he didn't see it or have other things on their minds, but I was definitely frauded. I won't even tell you how much money I lost. My wife is very upset. Somebody that I trusted. Now I'm in the process of trying to get my money back. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's still a very delicate situation. And all of this because you're trying to do things the right way. And the right way just doesn't exist.
That's right. He felt he's gotten scammed. Oh boy, a guy who spent over $100,000 of his own money, plus paying some money over the top to come home, yeah, he's gotten scammed. And a lot of people give up a whole lot to come back home or to come back to what is the ancestral home. Because when you come back here, let's just be honest, people don't look at you as, you know, hey, welcome back or anything like that. No, that's not how people look at you. They look at you as a foreigner and, you know, you don't know anything about this place. And so you're trying to find out how people do business. People do business quite differently than what you're used to in the West. It's more about relationships and not even about, you know, how good you are at things at times. All of these little nuances you need to figure out. And if you've been there for 16 years legally in the country, citizenship, I believe in Kenya might be like 5 or 7 years. The question is, what took him so long if it's been 16? Now, my question is this, should he get it? Should he file a lawsuit? Well, personally, I don't know. I don't know if he can win it, but if he can, that's going to be a big sign of hope for folks in the diaspora. I read this particular comments on the blog that I found this information in, and so many Kenyans were supportive of the guy, wanting him to get his citizenship and establishing in Kenya, especially if he has a good track record, he's doing things for the economy, he's trying to do things for the country. Let him come. However, just because we want citizenship in that country, it doesn't mean that we're going to get it. And sometimes I kind of feel like, we might be wasting our time trying to get the citizenship or demanding it like that, right? I don't know why you try to do things right, but hey, sometimes you're dealing with a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of problems. I even know citizens in Kenya that have hard times getting their passports.
He ain't lying.
In Uganda too.
We'll watch our way.
So if people are having a hard time getting their passports as citizens and sometimes national IDs, it might be quite difficult doing this. And it just goes to show that, you know, some of us who are on the front line of trying to do this, we are the trailblazers, the mavericks of this, of trying to make these sorts of things happen. And it is hard. It is going to be, you know, hard fought. You are coming into a new place that likes to do things the way that they like to do it. And then showing your value and showing your worth and showing what you can do in the country, it's going to take time. I do think that Kenya is the best country for anybody to relocate in the diaspora, with Uganda probably being a close second. But yeah, I wish him all of the best. Hopefully he is successful in his endeavor. And if not, maybe he'll try again. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shadu Jackson, back at it again with an episode of Fair Use here on the Kenganda channel. I'm out.